In a move that has shaken Israel's political and legal landscape, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has formally appealed to President Isaac Herzog for a presidential pardon in his long-running corruption trial, a case that has haunted his leadership for 5 years. The request marks a historic first in Israel, as pardons are traditionally sought only after legal proceedings have concluded. Netanyahu's legal team, in a letter to the president's office, argued that the ongoing criminal proceedings had deepened societal divisions and were obstructing the functioning of the government. They claimed that ending the trial was essential for national reconciliation and for restoring stability at a time when the country faces mounting internal and external pressures. The letter followed an unusual show of support from former U.S. President Donald Trump, who, weeks earlier, had written to Herzog, urging him to grant Netanyahu clemency. Trump described his plea as arriving at a historic time, celebrating what he called shared efforts towards lasting peace in the Middle East, even as both leaders face legal and moral scrutiny in their own nations. Netanyahu is facing 3 separate cases involving allegations of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. Prosecutors accuse him and his wife, Sarah Netanyahu, of accepting luxury gifts worth over $260,000, including expensive cigars, jewelry, and champagne from wealthy businessmen in exchange for political favors. In other cases, Netanyahu is alleged to have sought favorable media coverage from major Israeli outlets in return for regulatory or policy advantages. Defiant as ever, Netanyahu maintains his innocence, insisting the cases are politically motivated and that he would have preferred to see the process to its end. Yet he declared that the national interest demanded otherwise, framing his request as a selfless act for the country's unity. The move has provoked fierce criticism from the opposition. Yair Lapid, leader of the centrist Yesh Atid party, condemned the pardon request, saying, "No one should be pardoned without admitting guilt and retiring from public life." He argued that granting such a pardon would erode public trust in Israeli judicial system. Netanyahu's plea also comes amid growing international outrage over Israel's military campaign in Gaza, which has left more than 70,000 Palestinians dead, most of them civilians and children. As calls for accountability mount abroad, Netanyahu now faces the most critical test of his political career, a battle not just for his freedom, but for his legacy.